The rioting in Portland can be attributed to one company and their fraudulent claims. This company, Samsung, and it can contribute to the Galaxy Buds Live, or Galaxy Buds Live, which they claim will stay in your ears, and I'm here to tell you that's a lie. I mean, these things are so bad that you can't, well, at least men, you have to make sure you take them off before you go to the bathroom, because when you unzip your pants and you go like this, the thing falls, and if it falls in the toilet because you don't have quick hands, now you got a decision to make. Depending on if you're your house toilet, a restaurant toilet, and don't let it be at a concert, or no, look, there's no concert because of COVID, but you know, back when there were concerts, and it's in a porta potty, and you're wondering, well, is this worth it? I just spent my last $200 on it. I'm not sure. So you're wondering how this happened in Portland. Well, what does that have to do with happening in Portland? Well, it got back to the White House that there was trouble brewing in Portland. And so President Trump at the time sent Don Jr. and Eric out there to help ease tensions. I was supposed to go, but of course they complained, saying I do all the work and I get all the credit. So he sent them to. You think, well, what could they do? You know, they can't make it any worse. Well, they were able to. So, you know, we got something from the NSA saying that Antifa and Black Lives Matter, we're gonna take on a police force, and they were marching towards it. So they put me on a jet to try to negotiate a peace. I got there, took a cab from the airport. I was trying to get to my hotel to drop my bags off. We drove fast and I could see the two sides coming together, so I was like, stop the cab. I jumped out. Got in the middle, and I'm like, hold on, and then everyone knew it was me, so they were willing to talk. And then all of a sudden, you know, this thing was messing in my ear, so I tried to adjust it to put it back in. All of a sudden, my phone dinged because I had a text. I went like this. The thing fell. I went down to pick up the thing because I didn't want to step on it, because you know I spent good money on this. And someone goes, he's been shot. So everyone thought I was shot, and so the Black Lives Matter and the Antifa people thought I got shot. So then they rushed the police, and of course they trampled me. And the police rushed back, and that caused the first riot. And then of course they saw me on the ground, so they got me into the hospital. And then I woke up in the hospital, and they're like, do you remember what happened? And I'm like, yeah, the damn buds fell on my ear and went down, and next thing you know, I'm getting trampled. And I think I heard someone say I got shot. So they're like, you don't remember getting shot? I'm like, I didn't get shot. It's like, oh, you must have hit your head when you hit the ground because you don't remember they shot you. I'm like, I didn't get shot. And then they pointed to my shoulder, and they pointed to this, and they're like, that's a bullet hole. I'm like, that's not a bullet hole, that's a zit. They're like, oh, you really must have some brain damage. We're gonna have to order some tests. And so then they took me away, ordered some tests. They're like, well, yeah, it looks like you have brain damage. So then people heard I was awake, and then people from Antifa and Black Lives Matter started visiting me, telling me, oh, they're gonna avenge me and all this. And I'm like, I didn't get shot. And they're like, oh yeah, the rumors about you hitting your head not remembering are true. I'm like, I didn't get shot. And next thing you know, Trump was there. He's like, well, I heard you took a bullet for the country. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you got shot at that, right? I'm like, no, I didn't get shot. He's like, what about the bullet hole in your shoulder? I'm like, this is it. He's like, oh, yeah, that they told me that you still have memory issues. Well, you know, the country would like to thank you. So here's a Bronze Star, here's a Purple Heart, here's the President's Medal of Freedom, what it is. And I'm like, but he didn't get shot, he don't deserve them. He's like, well, maybe you should stay in the hospital a few days. Hopefully your memory will come back. until he left. And of course, it was election year, so then Biden called. He's like, "Yeah, I heard you got shot." I was like, "I didn't get shot." Harris called. "I heard you got shot." Then they showed up. They're like, "Wow, well, you look good for a guy who got shot." I'm like, "I didn't get shot." They're like, "Well, let me see your shoulder." I'm like, they're like, "Oh, it looks like the bullet hole's healing." I'm like, "I didn't get shot." And he goes, "You know, sometimes memories take a while to come back, so don't worry about it." And I heard about the Bronze Star and the Purple Heart and the Medal of Freedom. If I win the election, you'll still get them. Don't worry. So I was like, "I didn't get shot." And then they're like, "Well, yeah, well, hopefully your memory comes back. But thank you for your service to your country." So then I was pissed because people keep telling me I got shot. So I tried to sue Samsung. And of course, their defense was it wasn't our buds. He got shot. How could we didn't shoot him? So then Judge Judy threw the case out. Even and then she pointed to my shoulder saying it was a bullet hole. I tried to say it was a zig. She was like, "No, that's a bullet hole. I've seen bullet holes before, or bullet wound, bullet hole, bullet wound." So I'm doing this video to call out the Samsung buds. They do not stay in your ears. So if you're gonna buy one, be careful. And be careful when you go into public because you could cause a riot like I did.